morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. The title of today's stream is Will Q4 Ignite a Year of Gains? Guys, what a great question. What a great title to a stream. Now, you may be wondering, you may be thinking to yourselves, wait, what the heck? This is Market Check. Why is there only one guy? Well, guess what? Now there's two guys. Louis, welcome. Welcome, Louis. He came in right as I needed him most. We're a little bit short-staffed here. Again, it's been kind of a weird week here at BB. But like I said to you guys yesterday, I don't want you to remember us for when the panel was full and times were easy. I want you to remember us for when we were short-staffed and we still figured it out. We still managed to show up every single day, providing you with honest, good faith, hardworking analysis and commentary on crypto and financial markets. But guys, do me a favor before we dive into it, we get too deep into the stream, hit that like button if you haven't yet. Okay. I simply will not go to the soybeans today. I can't do it.
It's been a while.
It's Q4, you know, it's like soybeans don't belong in Q4. That's a end of Q2 through Q3 thing. Like you don't want that, right? You simply do not want that. And how we can avoid that is by simply smashing that like button. But anyways, guys, things are looking really interesting. There are some definitely big levels that we're trying to chew through right now. Looks like we got the chef, the moisturized chef
guys.
here. Okay. Now we're cooking. Now we're in action.
Leave it to the
Big Daddy Jackus.
It's the
there
three
we go.
daddies. The three daddies.
Daddy Club.
Big Daddy's here. Now it's time to start the show.
The Daddy stream.
Okay. We're going to talk about all the levels and then some, guys. We have a ton of big levels to talk about today. Nothing but big levels. There are no little levels left on the chart. Okay. The little levels have been reclaimed. Now it's just big levels. I think the big question for me is, are we going to get some Q4 scam, right? I can point to some examples. Yesterday, you guys will remember, for those that were here yesterday, we went over basically every bullish Q4, or maybe let me rephrase that. We went over every Q4 that was occurring in the midst of a bull market, which if you have eyeballs, you can see that we're clearly in a bull market, every which way you look at it, okay? Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they, whoever they are, like to run very intricate, psychologically manipulative scams, right? Right around like the calendar rollover, right around when a new month hits or a new quarter hits, something like that. So I guess we'll start with this. The title of the stream is, Will Q4 Ignite a Year of Gains? My answer to that is absolutely. Absolutely, without question. But I'm also going to ask another question to the panel as we get rolling here. And then I want to hear from Louis first and then Jackus, just because when I look at you guys, it's like I'm on the top, then Louis, then Jackus. We'll just go down the panel, okay? First, Louis, will Q4 ignite a year of gains? And second, are you expecting some scammery before we really ignite?
What do you mean by ignite a year of gains? You mean bullish Q4 leads to bullish 2026? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. To be fair, I didn't actually make the title. I don't set that up. That was Z. So we could get a sidebar with Z. Should we have Z on Market Check?
We should bring Z up. Yeah,
that would be fun. Have Z on Market Check.
Explain yourself.
Yeah, Z, explain yourself.
Z, I know you're watching. Get up here.
Z is going to be like, oh, you want to come on, Z? All right.
Come up, Z.
All right, Z, hop on. You have the link. You made it.
So. Link.
Yeah, Z, you can join us if you'd like. But Louis, you are in the hot seat. Okay, you can't deflect any longer. Will Q4 ignite a year of gains? And are you expecting / anticipating some scammery before we really ignite?
I I'm on the fence, Max. I can't.
Oh
lie.
no, you can't be on the fence, Louis. You simply can't.
I totally can be.
I won't allow it. I won't allow it.
When you look at stuff like the DXY, Jackus has touched on this. If the DXY does enter that multi-year downtrend, I think we could definitely be setting up for a year-long crypto rally of some sort. Way longer than most people expect. Even more than a year, right? But there's also a side of me that says we might only have 3-6 months of this, like we normally do in a crazy alt season. The narrative at the top of that 3 to 6 month period will be extended rally. We're going to keep going up for years. Institutions are involved now. We're never going to get a bear market, and then everyone gets crushed again. So I think it's too soon to tell. But I will say the length of the bear market or the crypto winter for altcoins that we've seen over the last pretty much 2 years now. It hasn't even been a year. It's been pretty much 2 years of altcoin bear market, that does tell me that there should be some sort of longer time frame. Like if things actually get rolling here, we shouldn't get 3 months. We should get the same, if not more time in a bull market than we've spent in the bear market, right? So it's something I'm torn on a bit, and it's something that you just have to play, day by day, month by month as time goes on. I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know. The answer is I don't know, but I think 6-9 months minimum is on the table for bullish conditions for altcoins. So that's almost a year, right? So ask me again in 6 to 9 months.
I will. I plan on doing that. I definitely will. Okay, Chef. Will Q4 ignite a year of gains, and are you anticipating some scammery before they allow that year to kick off?
Yes, and yes, and now where is he? No, but in more details, NZ, get your ass up here. But yeah, I do think that as we know it, there is always scammery out there, lurking around the corner, luring you into the market where you cannot take it no more, and you either have to panic sell or panic buy in, and then it's gonna be like, oh, he bought, manipulate the market to the downside, make him panic sell, and then we pump it to Valhalla. So yes, I actually, I said this before. ETH, Bitcoin, and USDT dominance has all done for me what I wanted to see from them from this mid-time frame correction. When I'm looking at certain alts, they still tell me there is room for more shenanigans. Not all of them, but some of them. So, as I've been saying before, you wanted to DCA the big fear that we saw in the I think last week. I mean, all of the days just go by right now, so I'm not even sure what day is it today. But yeah, those are the days that I believe will be great buys, right? Like I was making a meme on Twitter saying when ETH was at new all-time highs, oh, I'm such an idiot for not buying ETH sub 3.9k. Then ETH goes sub 3.9k, and I'm like, I ain't buying that shit.
That's my favorite, man. All cycle it's been that, like with Bitcoin specifically. Oh man, I should have bought Bitcoin at like 50k. Then when it gets there, no, dude, we're going to 30k, way lower. I'm not buying it here. Absolutely not. Yeah.
So
all cycle.
It's really like that's where it's really hard, right? To like at some point be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this because it's deep enough, and I understand it might go a little bit more, but I understand the longer term value that the price is currently trading at. And that was really sub 4k to me. So even if we were to revisit that low one more time, and I think and it might be harder to imagine where we are currently, but I still think we could revisit the ETH low. Not that I want to see it, but I think it's possible. I'm saying this because I've been hurt enough times in the markets. So that that low is definitely retestable. That said, that low is really like majority, like if you were to get a downside from the high to the low, 90% of the move is already done, most likely, in my opinion, right? Which means that if you were to get a drop, you would drop maybe from the current low is like 3,800, yeah, maybe to like 3,700, right? But not really much lower than that. From current prices, that would be tough to stomach. But in terms of the overall move, it's really not. And that, by the way, makes even the August monthly low. Actually, it wasn't August monthly low, but like that August first drop that we got, to basically 4,050. That was those buys already back then are going to be great. So I don't think you need to rush it. I think there is room for shenanigans in Q4. But I do think that Q4 will eventually end up being very bullish, especially for majors. Some alts might wait for New Year. That's something you need to calculate in as well. But yeah, bullish bullish Q4 and bullish 2026 for
Jackus,
sure.
what are your thoughts on several and many market participants expecting the situation that you just described, right? Like that, more shenanigans, more sweep of the lows, more, crazy, bear traps, swift drops. Like from my perspective, right? And to be fair, I did say this before this last drop we got, right? But in my opinion, it seems as if everyone's conditioned for that at this point, right? Expecting that big shoe to drop. You get that, easy, not, I wouldn't say easy, but you get that second chance entry, that scary drop. And in my opinion, from my perspective, it feels that many people are conditioned and expecting that at this point, which kind of has me thinking that, this could be some sort of lockout rally of some sort. Not saying we don't get pullbacks. I think we totally can. I think that, looking at ETH, comparing ETH right now to what Bitcoin looked like just a week ago, ETH kind of pulling that same underside retest off that first initial bounce off the low, we could see another drop, right? Make a higher low, just like Bitcoin did, right? But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that matters? Do you think it doesn't matter? Like, what are you thinking there?
Well, I might turn around the question and be like, that will depend on who you follow, right? And
That's true.
Because I was just bookmarking few tweets. Again, I'm not looking to expose anyone, but I do this for myself, for the future, because lots of people led me astray in the past, and I'm not like blaming anyone. That, like, some people do it on purpose, some people don't do it on purpose. Doesn't matter, right? Like, I want to do better next time and not get affected. And so I was bookmarking a few tweets actually, and like I saw so many fractals of like 2021 top from either April, like this guy. I'm just scrolling through them, and like one guy here has I do not know, some oh yeah, it's fractal from 2022, BTC down to 51k, and that's what just like popping up on me on like the For You page. And it's not like I'm scrolling through it for like a day trying to find something. It's like you open it up and it's there, right? Yeah, some guys still targeting sub 100k on Bitcoin. So I do not know.
I would hate to be on that list of yours, by the way. That would suck.
That would, yeah.
That'd be a bummer.
Maybe we are.
I'm really like the reasoning I want to show it, or not. I'm actually not going to be showing it, but like for reference is that there's lots of people still expecting big downside, and I think where market usually like moves in the middle is that it really tests bulls patience, bulls conviction, but doesn't give the bears their dreamy targets. And I think that dreamy target for Bitcoin, for example, is sub like that June low, sub 100k. I don't think that is coming at all. Actually, Bitcoin is looking really amazing, and again, any buys sub 110K were really good ones. So I don't know. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that ETH needs to revisit the lows. Again, as I said at the beginning, my goal was for this mid-time frame shakeout where people really feel the fear.
Yeah.
There comes the shakeout. It resets things, and it has that's played out. ETH, Bitcoin, USDT dominance. So I'm not saying it has to happen, but I've seen it many times. Even if you look at like stuff. Let's look at May 2021 on ETH, right? Let's perhaps look at it. Maybe you can use different chart marks so you do not have to.
Oh, I'm just dinking around. I don't mind.
I know.
These are just all my little scripts. We're just having fun. Let's move over. You wanted to look at ETH?
Yeah, 2021, like that low, right? And I'm not saying at all, guys. I'm not saying at all. We are at the time. This is totally different. Like if you're gonna look at that low, right, and that there was that drop. Look at
Are you
no,
talking
no,
about
no.
this?
That one too,
That's
perhaps.
2020. Yeah.
No, I think that's a good example too, right? It doesn't matter. But I was talking about the May 21 and after.
He's calling for top. Get him, chat. Everybody attack him.
I was.
How dare he? You better
I was-
take that back. I'm getting heated.
I was actually talking about the bottom there with how many times it retested the lows, right? And I'm not saying that this is happening. I'm just saying that the price can easily come back to the lows, a few times, and that's normal. I think another good time was the one that you mentioned, the one that I like to refer to the current times to a lot, which is September, August 2020. And I think the next one on ETH is August. It's funny how it always comes in August. August 2024, right?
But Chef, let me ask you something. I see this range, right? This came after this was more or less like a blow off top, right? Like this was more or less your top. This top over here was all futures driven. Like the spot buying was
Just
not
like
supportive
Bitcoin.
of a price movement like this.
Yeah.
This range also happened in the dead of summer, right? Where we typically get horrible chop, not trending environments. The context seasonally, cyclically of where we are at right now, I would say doesn't really align with like a summer range, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not saying at all. We are at like we are close to the cycle top. I'm not saying that we going to range for multiple months. Maybe something like what you see here in 2020. I was just more referring to the fact that after a bigger sell-off, there's oftentimes, like twice or three times retest of the lows.
Yeah.
And so that people kind of, even if you're going to look at the, bottom 2020 or FTX, right? Look at FTX. You had a sell-off, bounce, come back to the lows. This is what I'm referring to. That that can happen. People should composite. But as I said, I believe majority or all of the pre-bull market shakeout has played out. Yeah, that's basically all I'm saying.
You do bring up a good point in that most times you like it's a lot less common to see like a drop that's the bottom and then we just move higher. It's like you typically will kind of double bottom, or you don't have to come back and sweep it, but like
Come close. Yeah.
Something.
To be fair, though, those are more bottoming patterns where this is more of a continuation.
I will say in that regard, Louis, what we have seen is a pretty clear pattern emerging here of basically just a one tap bottom where when you get these corrections, we're not coming back to double bottom here. We're just trending, right? So bottom, trend, bottom, trying to trend, right? So far during this ETH rally, we really haven't seen double bottoms being formed, but that also doesn't mean that we're not going to go back to that environment. Like
But
we certainly
Bitcoin just did it, kind of didn't make a new low, made actually a slightly higher low, but
yeah.
no, it came back, and like the move ETH put in right now, Bitcoin did that, then kind of came back, made a slightly higher low, and now it's going up. So I could totally see that on the table. Like, let's say Bitcoin pulls back a little bit here, because it seems like Bitcoin's leading this rally, right? So Bitcoin maybe flips 17 into support, pulls back into like 116, 117. I could see ETH and alts kind of putting in that move that Jackus is referring to, for sure, right? It's always on the table. So I could definitely see it. It just makes sense to me that this should, this rally we're seeing right now should bring pain to those that capitulated. Were either forced sellers, like getting liquidated, or capitulated and panic sold over the last week and a half. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, the market should bring pain to those people, and that would be
it's bringing
more
pain
higher.
to them.
Yeah,
It's
for
bringing
sure.
pain to them. Usually the psychology is that if they, because they usually sell during the panic, right? So perhaps if you can go back to East chart, Max. I mean, we could stay on Bitcoin. It's not that much different, but so what oftentimes happen here is that lots of people panic sell down below that range, and or like not talking about ranges specifically here, just generally like the price level where it was. So down below it, right? Let's say down, sub 4K where the capitulation really unfolded. Lots of people sell there, and then the market bounces. And the reason for the price to oftentimes come back for a second or third or fourth time is because lots of people FOMO back in on this bounce. They're like, oh yeah, they got me. So what I'll do is that I'll buy back in, right? Because we are going so much higher. And then the market comes back and goes back to the low for a second time, and it shakes them for a second time.
This is what they do. They sell here. I have to buy back in. Then they sell here again.
Yes. Yes, exactly. No, this is literally what happens. And so, and then some people will sell, right? Panic sell first. And then they'll be waiting for like super lower targets, right? Like, for example, in this example, people sold 2.9K. What will happen is that they'll be looking to buy like at 2K. And so they will not get in before the move to the upside. Then there are some who will buy back in on the bounce, and then the market really tests them out if they have the conviction for the upside again, right? Yeah. Because someone will be like, oh yeah, this is not looking good, I need to panic sell. The market bounces as it has right now, and then the people buy back in, which is, we know that right now is not a good buy, right? Like right now you're testing the prior range, mid-range, the origin of the breakdown. You've moved up significantly. Everyone knows, like even subconsciously, everyone understands this is not the best time to buy, which could be by end of Q4, but from a local price perspective, it's really not. And so good chances the market will test these people that just FOMOed back in. If they can like see the vision of Q4 at next year and hold through it, right? If they just made a mistake, they are buying back in because it's like really painful to watch the price go up without them. And so it's going to test them. But at the same time, it's not going to give the bears the wild dream, entries at like 3K or something. And so market oftentimes finds like this middle ground of testing, the panic people, and at the same time not giving an opportunity to those who want like very, very deep entries.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking on this show quite a bit more than normal about being one with the scam, right?
Yeah.
you have to, it's not enough to just think about the scam. You have to like be the scam. You know what I mean? Like you have to let it overcome your being and become part of your consciousness and your psyche and your everyday thinking. I mean, it's like You have to be one with the scam to succeed in this market because it's a complete scam. There's that meme. Maybe Jack, if you could pull it up.
Immediately
I'm sure you
adopted
have it.
scam. I was born in it. Molded by.
No, that one's a good one. That one's a great one, actually. But I was talking about the two kids on the bus, and it's like everything is a scam, and one of them's frowning, and then the other one is like everything's a scam, and he's smiling.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we do.
It's a good one, right? It's like you can be mad that you're most likely going to get scammed, or you can just be like, everything's a scam. I know what's most likely to happen, right? You have to understand, like, whenever there's a chance to scam you in crypto in terms of price action, it's going to happen 9 times out of 10. Not all the time, but most of the time. So we are in this little pocket right now, though, where ETH has been in a very strong structural uptrend, and it's now officially the most bullish from a seasonal perspective, bullish time of the year for ETH. I have highlighted on this chart the previous 3 ranges. Now this is our 4th. We have simply dropped below the range low, and we did not come back any of the last 3 ranges to double bottom. We simply haven't. So I think you need to be one with the scam, but also say, you know what, they can't always scam me, right? The scam will not always work.
Yes, I agree with that.
I was talking to our Discord at length about this morning, and we were running a comparison between, Tether dominance in 2023 and Tether dominance now. And actually, let me just pull it up, right? Let me pull it up, and then we'll come back to ETH here, okay? So we were looking at Tether dominance, marking it out quarter by quarter. We were on like the 4-hour or something like that. Yeah. So we were actually looking at, we were doing a thorough study, which, by the way, guys, if you're not in the Discord, you really should get in there. Okay. Like, I know we do the show for free or whatever, and you're like, I don't need to pay for their premium stuff because they do the show for free. I promise you, if you love Market Check, you'll love the Discord. We do private conference calls every morning and afternoon with Q&A, chart requests, stuff like this. So when I look at the current setup here, so this is where we're at right now. So this is, I'll label it right here. This is USDTD 2025. And this over here is USDTD 2023. Okay, so something that we saw when we're talking about this idea of them running scams, okay? Hopefully you understand what I mean by that. They will manipulate the price action and scam you, and they will make fun of me for saying like, oh, he's calling it a scam. No, what I'm saying is like they're genuinely scamming you. Like, it's not about price going up or down. They scam it both ways. But like, look what happened here in 2023, right? Quarterly open. Tether dominance drops. I'll add Bitcoin down here. I have it on this chart. With Bitcoin down below. And what they did here that was so brilliant, such a scam, was they pumped you off the open, and then they came back here on Tether dominance specifically and swept your high, and then they swept the quarterly open on Bitcoin, and then they ripped it a ton. Then they just absolutely ripped it. So when I look at the scams that they've run in the past, I say, okay, this kind of looks exactly the same, if we're being honest. Like, dumping it off the open. This structure, even like here, it looks the same, right? Like this rollover left some highs, right? It looks really similar, like super similar. So this is what I'm talking about, is like, you got to stay on your toes with the scam. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I think it would honestly be reckless to try to sell all your coins here, being like, oh, they're for sure going to run the 2023 Q4 scam playbook. Like, that's for sure happening. I think that holds just as much risk, because they could simply rip this thing, and I hope that they do, right? Yeah. But when you're trying to become one with the scam, which is, I'm showing you the 2023 scam, where they ran all the quarterly open stops, they swept the high on Tether dominance, and then they ripped Bitcoin. Then they nuked Tether dominance. That's a scam, right? Like, how perfectly
different
this
type
got
of scam.
swept right here. Like, there's no reason to come back and sweep this perfectly and then nuke it, right? Like, they scammed you. That was a manipulation. That's not my opinion. Like, I will die on that hill. That was a manipulation. Well, they scammed you. They got you. Okay. So if I'm trying to be one with the scam now, I say, okay, they might scam me. I have a decision to make. Do I want to prepare for the scam, or do I just want to like mentally know it's coming? And if they do sweep the quarterly open on Bitcoin and they scam tether dominance a little bit, you know, mentally I will have known that that was possible. Yeah, it's that guy. He's running the scams. So I'm not selling anything in preparation of this, but I'm just sort of narrating like, hey, you know, like if they decide to scam you, like here's a prime example of a previous scam, you know, a Q4 scam, October scam. But to be clear, I'm not bearish. The charts look fantastic. The setup looks premier. Everything looks so good. But you might get 1 week of getting scammed before you're rich, right? And, you know, it's just what happens. It'll be okay. But I really hope that they don't, you know. I really hope that they don't. I hope that they just melt it straight up in a straight line. Everybody wants a pullback. Everybody like me that's incredibly bullish is like paranoid about a scam, right?
Yeah.
I hope that they just give us an easy one. Like for once, let's make it easy. Let's just literally melt upwards and not have to deal with the scam. But somebody out there is a maniac. Somebody out there is an absolute, just a sociopath, right? Just a complete freak. And they have a ton of money and they're like, we're going to scam people, you know? And that's, look at 2023. That's what they did. That is exactly what they did. So I'm simply one with the scam, but I'm not selling. I'm just sort of narrating like, you know, I'm just, if it happens, I'll be like, yep, you know, kind of classic, right? It is what it is. We're going to go higher after. You know, but we also might just rip face. And once in a while it is easy. It's usually not, but once in a while it is. So hopefully that time is now.
Yeah.
I think we can end it there. The time is now.
I mean, that was alpha. That was true raw alpha is what that unfiltered alpha. You know, like that's, I should make a course and sell it on BB, how to prepare to get scammed by whoever the hell is doing these stop loss runs on tether dominance, you know? I mean, it's brilliant, right? I'll just mark out, maybe I'll write a newsletter. Every morning I'll drop it and I'll be like, the scam to watch out for today. You know, I am better than everybody at being one with the scam. Allow me to show you and map out. It'd be a free newsletter just to help people how to navigate getting scammed by the crypto manipulators. You know, I think that would be interesting. You know, I think that would be good.
Sounds fun.
Jackus, I would love to have you as a contributor to my scam write up. I know you're very good at, you know, you've been studying these con artists for years.
I'm great at it.
You're very good.
Yeah. I mean,
Jackus, you've been one with the scam before I was even in crypto. You know.
Yes.
Many years of being one with the scam.
Yes. It's a wild world we are living in.
Jackus is like a detective.
You gotta expose the breadcrumbs in the chart where the scam is left and wait for the market to come for it. It's like, oh, he's getting excited. Time to ruin his day, whatever the direction that is.
Oh, he's making money. Would be a shame if he was suddenly poor tomorrow. You know, it's just.
Oh, he's taking a screenshot, thinking how much money he's going to buy with the profits.
Yeah,
would be a shame if that unrealized P&L went back to break even. Oh, would be a shame if I gave him hope and made him hold, you know, down below to even larger losses from a large profit.
Would be a shame if he round tripped.
It would be a shame if he has to pay rent on the 1st, so we just ramp the market down the last week of the month so he can't pay rent.
Yeah.
Not that happened to me.
They're a bunch of scammers, bro. Like, look at this, man. They just like there's no real logical reason why something like this had to happen. Like you could be like a hindsight analyzer and be like, oh, like clearly there was like a stop there, like no, they literally just scammed you, like they knew it was going to be bullish and they're like, no, fuck these guys, scam them first, then we send it, like there's no reason to sweep that high by like 0.25% and then, then send it. They could have just sent it.
And then comes the bull market, and you're waiting for the scam, but it never comes. The scam is that the scam doesn't come.
Yeah, and then when you prepare for the scam, it doesn't happen. Yeah,
that's why I'm kind of like the fact, like the fact that we're aware of it, and that's right. And I don't think it's just us. Now it's like we're just like, okay, we've seen this so many times. It's totally on the table. They're gonna scam us. And then the scam doesn't come. They're done scamming.
So it's a double agent scam. The scam is that the scam doesn't come anymore.
Yes.
Dude, that is Louis. That's okay.
Yeah.
The sliver of hope. I like that.
And now is my biggest
scam is that we just pump, and you were expecting the scam.
Yeah, I think I was 1 week early to that thesis, which is fine. I'm always usually a little early, but
I think we have a wrong title of the show, however. It shouldn't be will Q4 ignite 8 of gains. It's will we get scammed or is the scam not getting scammed?
Yeah. They're like,
I mean, I'm laughing, but it's super true.
Like, no, they're like, everyone thinks we're gonna scam them. Let's not scam them. That's the real scam.
The real scam was you were gonna get rich if you just held your bags, but you thought you were gonna get scammed first. Dude, Bitcoin really does look strong here. I was drawing this up earlier. The fact that we are above all of our low time frame rolling VWAPs and we're above our range point of control now from these distributions, like this thing looks incredibly strong. I don't know, man. This doesn't look like it's getting ready to pull back to me unless they literally like SFPU today. We are chewing through some serious levels right now. I said to everybody yesterday, I was like, if you flip 120 like with gusto, I don't think you're really going to get scammed. Like I think the scam might be that you just melt higher and this is a beach ball underwater. Because where are we going to reject from and where are we going to drop to? Like, how can I know this? We're talking about the scam, right? But like, what would you expect here? Like, once you're above all this, like these highs, once you get up into here, well, what are you expecting to have happen? Like, we're not going to go here and then like all the way down. And like, there's too much support below us. We had a chance to reject, kind of right here. Here's our range value area high. We're above that now, right? Like we're actively trying to push out of this range that we've been in since the early middle part of summer. Point of control right here. Like we are actively trying to break out of this range right now, without question.
So there's a scenario I could see. And
I look at the daily RSI too, and like we're not even like at the froth zone yet. Like we're getting close. We're at 65. The magic happens above 70, right? We've talked about this idea before. This is when you like really stick the landing above 70. That's when you get these just like manic pushes, where you just start ripping. So I don't know. I can't be bearish the structure yet. I mean, I'll play it kind of hour by hour, but at this point, like you flip your range point of control. I mean, they're going to have to swing fail this thing like today, because otherwise I think you will get a pullback and it's most likely just going to be like you're here and then you kind of like chop back down into like 120, 119 and then you go. But I think you keep pushing here. You're ruling out the scam, You keep pushing. We got to stick the landing. We need above 120 to be super clear. We need above 120. We're not quite there yet. Like you're still kind of at your value area.
This comment reminds me of the meme. Like this guy is bearish, so I'll be bullish because of it. And it's like, well, this guy is bullish because that guy is bearish. That means I'll be bullish. But that guy is bullish because I'm bearish because he is bullish because he is bearish. So I'll be bullish. And I have no idea what I just said, but it kind of goes this way. And at a certain point, it's like there is too much like overthinking, and you kind of want to go back to what you are seeing. And what we are seeing is that there already was a major scam, that pre-bull market shakeout. And yeah, I do think that Q4 2026 very much bullish.
I mean, what if they just rip 6-hour RSI straight up to where we saw tops last time? You know, we got the largest, like Jack, as you highlighted this here. This was the most oversold that we had seen. 6-hour RSI.
Yeah, in a while.
It was, somewhat comparable to August 2023, July 24, August 24, and now. What if they just reflexively run this thing, and we go from 70 to 90, right? That would take us probably to 5K, literally.
Well, I want this to start immediately, so I do hope so. But yeah, I'm just saying again, everything I wanted to see from the August September dip. Well, everything, like I would say, 80% of it has played out. The major things have played out. Again, Bitcoin, ETH, and USDT dominance already did their resets. Can it come back? Again, what I'm saying, it can come back to the low one more time. ETH doesn't have to. In either case, you should be. So if you panic sold and are buying now, basically what I'm saying, if you panic sold the low and are rebuying now, which is a FOMO buy, of course, it's okay, but you need to be ready for that last scam, right? That's what you need to incorporate in. What I'm also saying is you shouldn't be selling right now because there could be final scam. That's what you shouldn't be doing either.
Take a shot every time we've said scam.
Oh, you're dead.
You're dead.
You're dead. It's over.
We can call it shenanigans. We can call it scam. We can call it market makers fuckery. We can just call it whatever. But yeah, we know that happens, and kind of gotta get in line with it.
Damn, we're pushing 120 here.
We are getting close to the point of no return, honestly. I wouldn't say we're quite there yet, but I think we are getting very close to the point of no return, where they're just going to just send it. And I think if you did get a pullback, then it's going to look more like this. Like if they stick the landing on this, which they haven't yet, it'll be just like rip. And then you're going to get one of these and everyone's going to be like, okay, like I'll buy the retest of 120. And then it just like chops instead of actually pulls back. And then they just keep sending it.
Yeah, I've been thinking
that would be awesome.
I was like, we're entering that period where Bitcoin's putting in a move where if it keeps going from here, like we're going to enter bull chop, vertical accumulation style price action where everyone's waiting for that, throwback to like 117, 120. And then we just keep chopping vertical accumulation and then just keep meat sticking, just like we did off the March and April lows there.
Yeah.
100%. That's what Bitcoin likes to do.
It is what Bitcoin likes to do.
Do you guys have any, because people love to do this, they love to like find a narrative behind every move. Have you guys adjusted some narrative to this Bitcoin move? Was it like because I do not know, president of Nigeria said they're gonna mine Bitcoin or something, or
That's the most obvious way to just like show everyone that you don't understand what's going on is to require a catalyst for every Bitcoin move. The catalyst is that Bitcoin's awesome and the thing in which we denominate it in is going to zero. So on any given day, that's literally the narrative. That's the only narrative that matters. It's the only one that really on any given day, like that's it. The dollar is worthless. It's bleeding over time. And Bitcoin is ultrasound. Like it's concrete store of value. On any given day, Bitcoin deserves to go higher. That's the truth, right? You don't need a catalyst. People love to attach it, right? They'll be like, I mean, there are certain things that are catalysts, right? Like, Trump wins the election, we pump, right? I would argue that we were going to pump regardless of who won. Maybe not as high, but like the market was set up to pump anyways.
Right.
But dude, on any given day, like Bitcoin deserves to go way higher than it is, man. The fact that like, how every few years we look back, like, dude, okay, so I was getting some of my taxes situated for the deadline that's coming up. I had a few little items and I was kind of going through like old trades yesterday. Bitcoin's at 120.
Yep.
And I was looking, like I had some Bitcoin trades from like 2023 and I was buying Bitcoin at like, 22, 25, 27. And I was selling it, maybe for like a 30, 40% win. And like, that's nice. But like at the time, it's just so hard to like imagine where Bitcoin's going to be. So like right now we're looking at Bitcoin at like 120 and it seems crazy, but like there is going to be a day in the next like 5 years where Bitcoin's probably at like 700 or 800K. And we're all just like, holy crap. Like, why were we even trying to trade any of this shit? Like, why were we pressing buttons? Like, all you had to do was just buy Bitcoin and
DCA.
go live your life and piss off, but everyone tried to trade it,
Yeah.
It's that masculine urge to just like way overcomplicate something that's so simple.
Yep.
Like Bitcoin, there's no such thing as Bitcoin trading at a premium. We can, from a trader's perspective, yeah, but like, why is Bitcoin going higher? Because Bitcoin deserves to go way higher every single day.
Yeah, like you use like the BB terminal DCA kind of tool, right? I think it was like maybe a couple months ago that the BB terminal X page put out a thing and it was put out a post. I was like, if you just DCA'd into Bitcoin once a week, like $1,000 or something like that. Now, it was nothing crazy. Maybe it was even a couple $100, like, which is doable for even, your average 9 to 5 worker, a couple $100 a week, stuff just putting away to the side, pretend you're investing it. Instead, you're DCAing into crypto, right? I think it was like 7 or 8 years, right? Which is pretty much as how long I've been in crypto. And they were like, if you just DCA'd a couple $100 every week into Bitcoin starting, in 2017, 2018, like you'd have like over a couple $1 million. And I'm just like sitting here, I was like, I could have just did that, and lived my life.
I had some Bitcoin that I bought. I mean, dude, this was before I was even like in crypto. I had some Bitcoin on an old exchange account that I can't even get logged into anymore because it was when I was in high school. And like I lost the 2FA and I tried to reach out to, it was Coinbase. And I tried to reach out and like get it reset and they just like would not help me do it.
They said your Bitcoin, my Bitcoin.
Yeah, they stole that shit.
No, so I'm 99% confident there was nothing left in that account. But maybe it was some dust that at the time it was like $50 a Bitcoin. But I don't know. It doesn't matter. But either way, like I had some Bitcoin under $1,000. Like it was not a lot. It might have been like a couple Bitcoin that I bought in high school. And I remember selling it for like a 2 or a 3x thinking I was like a king, It's like I was such an idiot, man. I mean, I didn't get it at the time. I was like 16 or 17 or something, but maybe I was 18. I can't remember. I was young though. Like I didn't have any money, but yeah, it's just funny, man. It's just really, really funny. It's just funny. Someone said, Max, I sold all my Bitcoin for Andy. I feel like I made a mistake. Okay, listen, here's the thing. If you're trading and you're fine with the risks of selling something like Bitcoin to buy an altcoin, which is a risk, any altcoin. Doesn't matter if it's Andy or ETH or anything. Whenever you're selling Bitcoin, it's a risk that you end up with less Bitcoin. That's a risk. But if you think that you have a narrative or a play that can potentially outperform Bitcoin for a period of time, and then you have the opportunity to later swap back into Bitcoin to increase how much Bitcoin you have, then it's a risk, right? It's only a mistake if it doesn't work, right? So I guess at this point, see the play out. It should be alt season very, very soon. And if Andy pumps, you're going to have a lot more Bitcoin if you sell it back into Bitcoin, right? So it's one of those things. Like, it's not, there's never really a great reason to like sell your Bitcoin if you have like long-term Bitcoin holdings. If you just have Bitcoin and you're using it to trade and it's just like another Forex pair for you, then it doesn't matter, right? But
yeah, that could change in a matter of weeks. You know what I mean? Like,
you sold your Bitcoin last week. Okay, well let's look at
Do you
this.
know,
I actually
wait,
think,
do you know? Wait. Do you know what happens?
Hmm.
Do you know what happens?
Bitcoin dominance goes higher now. Pump it. But like, if we look at Bitcoin dominance, so like I look at this chart, right? Bitcoin dominance, if you don't know, is Bitcoin's relative pie share, Bitcoin's relative representation of how much of crypto it makes up. I view this chart as it's going down. I think that alts are going to outperform Bitcoin. So maybe could run up a little bit here if Bitcoin really pumps hard. But I do think it has a date with lower, somewhere down in here. So I think in general, this idea, if you're comfortable with the risk of selling Bitcoin for an altcoin to try to outperform Bitcoin, to inevitably have more Bitcoin if the trade works out, I think this is, in theory, a good spot to take that risk, right? Not advocating you sell long-term spot Bitcoin bags. There's really never a good reason to do that. But as a trader, yeah, I mean, in theory, like, I think that trade should work out just fine, generally. So, like, more specifically, we can look at like, let's see. So here is Andy Bitcoin, the pair. So Andy paired against Bitcoin. It is very much so looking like it's at its range low. I view this as like range high, range low. So if you sold Bitcoin last week, in your example here, I think your name was, what was it, Veronica or something? What was your name?
Veronica, yeah.
Veronica. Veronica, if you sold Bitcoin last week, that means you sold this range low and bought Andy or somewhere around here, right?
I like the move.
As a trader, not like a long-term investor, I think you could very much so look for this pair to move higher. Let me flip the pair just for perspective. I think you could be looking at this chart. I think you could be looking at prospecting some break. Like, look at this trend line, right? If this trend line breaks, you're going to end up being able to sell Andy for a lot more Bitcoin, right? Like, there's a major compression that's happening here. Where did my drawings just go? Why did they just, what is happening?
Disappear.
Do you see that? It literally just nuked my chart. Right. So I think this is what you should be looking out for here, is like, you took a trade selling Bitcoin for an altcoin. This is the pair chart. Play these levels, right? Hopefully you break out of here and just rip to new highs, like range high or something like that. That would be a huge move. But yeah, I don't think it's, where are my drawings going? I don't know what's going on. Look at that.
He thinks
right.
he has drawings. Erase them.
The Matrix is at me. They don't want me to talk about Bitcoin shitcoin pairs. Well, anyways,
I think your webcam rocked, Max, by the way.
can you still see me right now?
I only, yeah, now I see you.
Now you can. Okay. Okay. Well,
actually, no. The screen is frozen for me too, guys. Yeah. Maybe try to pull out your like remove the screen share and then try it again.
can you see me right now?
I do. It's low
Okay.
quality, so I think it's a connection issue.
Huh.
Yeah,
All right.
we do see it now. All right.
Now you see it.
Good,
Okay.
guys. Good feedback.
Well, Bitcoin is trying, but we are going to need them to stick the landing. I mean, we are bullish across the board. So bullish.
Bullish.
Man, I hope they scam us with alt season. That'd be great.
They stop believing. Send it.
Pump it. Pump it. Damn. I was going to buy some Circle stock the other day. Up a clean 8%. Still think it's in a good zone, but
I'm still waiting a little, but I think it's coming to a good territory.
yeah. I've been
Very,
patient.
very, very patient. I bought some BMNR.
How does that look? Yeah, someone was telling me about that. Let me pull that up.
I was thinking of buying SBET, but I'm not sure how I feel about it. But it kind of looks bottom too, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that looks like it wants to meat stick.
Can we look at SBET and BMNR marks, perhaps?
BMNR?
Wait. What do you mean be wrong one single time?
He's telling you, please be wrong, because you're never wrong.
Wait, so is he like wanting us to go to like 50K or something?
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Is dip? No, the dip already played out, man. The dip already played out. Oh, you mean like the lower time frame one, I suppose.
Dude.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, I kind of hope we just continue up and we are ready for the good times already.
Do I need to buy
yeah.
some leaps on this chart? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is this might be a great time to come back to this thing and buy it right here.
It looks really juicy.
It's 150 some percent back to the all-time high, or like the local high.
I mean,
this is the ETH treasury, right, Tom Lee?
Yeah.
That's BMNR, yes. SBET is also ETH treasury.
I mean,
I like it.
I mean, dude, I might have to buy some leaps on this thing. How are they priced? Let me see. So it's trading at 55 right now, and the previous all-time high was 160.
Technically, the old all-time high on this is $875. No, higher. I'm sorry. What the hell?
So if we did early Q2, they don't
wrong.
even write. They're not even writing options that far out of the money. What a bunch of scammers. Let me see. May, June, January. Dude, they won't even write you. Dude, they won't even write you calls. What?
Are you sure you're seeing all the?
Yeah.
What
If
are they?
I'm looking
what's
at the
highest?
chain right now, April 17th, 2026, they'll only write you $95 calls, man.
What?
Yeah.
But did you get in line with the scam yet?
That
Dude,
means
the
it's going
scam is
higher.
that they know this thing is going higher
Yeah.
and they don't want you to print 100x on it. That's the
Of
scam.
course.
They won't even let
crazy.
me play 100 strikes. Are you kidding me?
That's insane. That's crime.
Are you joking? That's a scam, man. Wow. Let me see for like end of the year. November 21st. Oh, they'll do end of the year. They'll give you 105s. That's a little close though. I don't like how
Crime.
close that is.
Yeah, no, yeah, take that.
So that's why they're doing it, bro.
Yeah. Fucking assholes.
They're like, all right, we'll give them the strike, but they're gonna get thetaed out of the position.
Yep.
Because they're buying too far. Yeah, bro, this is a complete sham. They know this thing's going higher. They won't sell me calls. They won't sell me the 100 strikes for
Where
next
do
year.
you
That's
buy,
crazy.
Mux?
That's crime. That is absolute crime. They know that they're going to scam it higher, and they will not let retail buy leaps on it. Really far out of the money. They won't do it. Scam. That's a scam, bro.
Where are you buying, Mux?
I mean, I wanted to buy some 100 strikes for like end of Q1 right here. I think that's like free money.
I mean, who is trying to scam you?
Oh, it's probably Citadel. I don't know. What a sham, bro. They won't let me buy 150 strikes. Like, let me buy some calls for under $1 a contract, please. Unbelievable.
Might just buy the stock the old-fashioned way.
Dude, that's actually irritating. Because I was looking at this chart going, yep, layup. Give me the 100 or 125 strikes for end of Q1. ETH doubles. This thing is going to $300. Okay.
Tommy,
Well, I guess I'm
out.
not doing that. Let me just double. Let me. That's very frustrating. That is incredibly frustrating.
What is the closest that they allow you to buy? Like what price?
For what expiration date?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let's do February of 2026. Oh, you know what? They do have some 105s for February 26, but they are so expensive for being that far out of the money.
How much?
There's $785 a contract right now.
The
What I was looking for is I was looking to scoop a bunch at like $1 or $2 a contract, way out of the money, with a reasonable time.
Your screen's frozen. I don't know if it's just for me, by the way. I hear you.
My internet's shit today. That's the problem.
Yeah.
This is the scam, is that for November of this year through February of 2026, they'll sell the 105s. But once you get into like April, May, June, they have nothing above the 95 strike. So either they haven't wrote the contracts yet,
or
they won't sell you something that's almost a guaranteed print.
Yeah, that's like very glaring to me that this thing is going to rip.
Yeah.
And you just got to buy the stock.
February 105s, because I don't like this. That's too expensive for me, man. I like to buy the dirt cheap ones. Yeah, bro, that is not good. That is not what we're looking for.
The MicroStrategy calls I've been buying have been very expensive too.
200. I mean, here's the thing: is if you could buy, they're more expensive. You could buy the February 20th 105 calls, and if the stock goes to $200 a share, then you'd print a 10x. But
what's the timing on that?
That's the problem. The problem is you have till middle of February.
I don't hate that.
I don't hate it. They're just still expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't hate that.
It's not bad. All right. I think we're going to call it here. Guys, thanks so much for, hopefully you can hear me. Thanks so much for tuning in. Greatly appreciate it. Guys, check out the URL above the chart if you can see it. Can you guys see it? Can anybody see it? Maybe my team can let me know if my screen is up. bbterminal.com, guys. We built out the absolute best all-in-one shitcoin DEX.
Max?
Yep.
It's frozen.
But you can see the URL though, right? Even if it's frozen?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yeah, it's up there.
Well, what you guys should all do is go to bbterminal.com just to prove it to me that you can see it. So I guess everyone will have to go to bbterminal.com in order to help me. Oops. Yeah, guys, consider making the switch. Best charting, custom indicators, custom tools, holder analysis, portfolio tracking. It's the absolute best, guys. Don't support the random companies. You don't even know who built it. Support us here at BB Terminal. We got order execution coming very, very soon, very early this quarter. It's going to be state of the art. Furthermore, if you like Market Check, definitely consider checking out our premium products, guys, down in the description below, becausebitcoin.com/premium, where you can sign up for our Discord. If you like Market Check, you will love it. We do 2 private conference calls per day with our entire community with screen sharing, Q&A, position updates, all the fun stuff, guys. So check that out as well, becausebitcoin.com/premium. Join our Discord. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here. Leave us a like and a comment on the way out, and we will see you guys tomorrow. We close out the first week of Q4 for Friday's Market Check. Guys, thanks so much for being here. See you tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe and take care.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal,